Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyahet Sarva Vignopashantahe. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vitvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Agajanana Patmarkam Gajanana Maharnisham Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadhantam Upasmahe Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Gurave Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nidaye Sarva Vidyanam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Asmad Guru Charanarvindabhyam Namaha Vasudheva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalaspatikakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Shri Hayagrivam Upasmahe Shri Hayagrivam Namaha Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Shri Mahasaraswati Namaha Uma Komala Hastabja Sambhavitalatakam Hiranyakundalam Vande Kumaram Pushkarasrajam Vetrivel Muruganik Har Hara Lokaviryam Mahapujyam Sarvaraksha-karam Vibhum Parvati Hridayanandam Shastaram Pranamamyaham Swamiye Sharanamayappa Vagartaviva Sampraktau Vagarta Pratipattaye Jagadah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro Shri Parvati Parameshwarabhyam Namaha Komalam Kujayan Venum Shyamaloyam Kumarakah Vedavedyam Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Asmad Guru Charanarvindabhyam Namaha Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Shri Nath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Shri Nath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Shri Nath Narayana Vasudeva Pītāmbaram Karavirajita Chakrashanka Kaumodaki Sarasijam Karunasamudram Radha Sahayam Atisundharamandahasam Vatalayesham Anisham Hridibhavayami Krishno Rakshatu Mam Charachara Guruhu Krishnam Namasye Sadha Krishne Naiva Surakshito Hamasakrite Krishnaya Dattam Manaha Krishna Deva Samudbhavo Mama Vibho Krishnasya Dasosmyaham Krishne Bhakti Rachancalastu Bhagavan He Krishna Tubhyam Namaha Shri Guruvayurappa Sharanam Nambranam Sannidhatte Satatamapi Purastairanabhyartitanapi Artan Kamanajasram Vitarati Paramananda Sandram Gatim Che Itham Nisheshalabhyo Niravadika Parijato Hare Tvam Kshudram Tam Shakravati Dhrumamabhilashati Vyartamarte Vrajohyam Shri Guruvayurappa Sharanam Shri Bhattapadam Anisham Kritibhavayami Vamshi Vibhushitakarat Navahiradabhat Pītāmbarat Arunabimbafaladharoshtat Purnendu Sundaramukhat Aravindhanetrat Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattvamaham Nachane Kairandum Kupinyan Vindu Mirakunno Niraja Lochana Ninhodai Itinu Manyane Kumbidenda Toro Ritiyil Nihenne Palikennai Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we just do a quick review of 38. Let's see here. Usha Garu, will you be able to do the first half of 38?
Third sloka, I am not comfortable and I did not practice that much. Yeah, I will. But, there is extra
Hey, let me just see who else.
I can do, Rajesh.
I think Lalita, I wanted to have you for the student for the class.
I can do.
Who was saying that?
Sujata.
Oh, Sujata. Okay, go ahead, Sujata. Yeah.
Om Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Krishna Avatara Vandanam. Ananda Rupa Bhagavannaite Vatare Prapte Pradipta Bhavadanga Niriyamanaih Kanti Vrajairiva Ghanagana Mandalaidyam Avrunvati Viruruche Kilavarshavelam Asha Sushitalatarāsu Payodatoyaihi Asha Sitapti च सज्जनेषु नैषा करोदय विधौ निशि मध्यमायां क्लेशापहस्त्रिजगतां त्वमिहा विरासीः नारायण 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 समद्भुतं बालकम् अम्बुजेक्षणं चतुर्भुजं शङ्खगदायुधायुधं श्रीवत्सलक्ष्मं गलशोभिकौस्तुभं पीताम्बरं सान्द्रपयोधसौभगं महार्हवैडूर्यकिरीटकुण्डलद्विषा परिष्वक्तसहस्रकुन्तलम् उद्दामकाञ्चनगदकङ्कणादिभिः विरोचमानं वसुदेवैक्ष्यताम् बाल्यश्रुषापि वपुषा धदुषा विभूतिः उद्यत्किरीटकटकाङ्गदहारभासा शङ्कारिवारि जगता परिभासितेन मेघासितेन परिलेसितसूतिगेः वक्षस्थली सुखनिलीन विलासि लक्ष्मी मन्दाकलक्षित कटाक्ष विमोक्षभेदैः तन्मिन्दिरस्य कलकं सकृतामलक्ष्मीम् उन्मार्जयन्निव विरेचित वासुदेवाम्.
Let us go to the third line there. Tan mandirasya.
Okay. तन्मन्दिरस्य कलकं सकृतामलक्ष्मीम् उन्मार्जयन्निव विरेचित वासुदेवाम्. शौरिस्तुधीरमुनिमण्डलचेतसोऽपि दूरस्थितां वपुरुदीक्षनिचेक्षणाभ्याम् आनन्दबाष्पपुलकोद्गमगद्गदाद्रः तुष्टावदृष्टिमकरन्दरसम्भवन्तम् देवप्रसीद परपूरुषतापवल्ली निर्लूनदात्र समनेत्रकलाविलासिन् खेदानपाकुरु कृपा गुरुभिः कटाक्षैः इत्यादि तेन मुदितेन चिरं नुतो भूः. You want me continue?
Yeah, you can just continue. Finish it out.
Okay. मात्रा च नेत्र सलिलास्तृत गात्रवल्या स्तोत्रैरभिष्टुत गुणः करुणालयस्त्वं प्राचीन जन्मयुगलं प्रतिबोध्यताभ्याम् मातुर्गिराददित मानुषबालवेशम् त्वत्प्रेरितस्तदनु नन्दतनूजयाते व्यत्यासमारचयितुं सहिशूरसूनुः त्वां हस्तयोरधृतचित्तविधार्यमात्यैः अम्बोरुहस्तकलहंस किशोररम्यम् जाता तदा पशुपसद्मनि योगनिद्रा निद्रा विमुद्रितमथाकृत पौरलोकम् तत्प्रेरणात् किमिव चित्रमचेत्नैर्यदो द्वारैः स्वयं व्यघटि सङ्घटितैः सुगाढम् शेषेण भूरि पणवारितवारिनाथ स्वैरं प्रदर्शित पथो मणिदीपितेन त्वां धारयन् स खलु धन्यतमः प्रतस्ते सोऽयं त्वमीश मम नाशय रोगवेगान्. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha.
Very nice. Okay, so we'll continue with 69 today. So Sundari, you and Lata can be student for the first half. Second one, Ushagaru, you and Shanti, you can be student. Okay. So I think we finished the third stanza, right? So we'll continue from 4. वेणुनादकृततानधानकलगानरागगतियोजना लोभनीय मृदुपादपातकृततालमेलनमनोहरम् पाणिसङ्क्वणितकङ्कणं च मुहुरं सलम्बितकराम्बुजम् श्रोणिबिम्बचलदम्बरं भजत रासकेलि रसडम्बरम्. So Venu Nada Krita Tana Dana Kala Gana Raga Gati Yojana, and then put a plus, and then it is, you see the two lines together. Yojana Lobhaniya Mridu Pada Pata Krita Tala Melana Manoharam. वेणुनादकृततानधानकलगानरागगतियोजना लोभनीय मृदुपादपातकृततालमेलनमनोहरम्.
Should I go first?
Yep.
Okay. वेणुनादकृततानदानकलगानरागगतियोजना लोभनीय मृदुपादपातकृततालमेलनमनोहरम्. वेणुनादकृततानदानकलगानरागगतियोजना लोभनीय मृदुपादपातकृततालमेलनमनोहरम्.
वेणुनादकृततानदानकलगानरागगतियोजना लोभनीय मृदुपादपातकृततालमेलनमनोहरम्. वेणुनादकृततानदानकलगानरागगतियोजना लोभनीय मृदुपादपातकृततालमेलनमनोहरम्.
पाणि संक्वणित कंकणं च मुहुरंस लंबित कराम्बुजं श्रोणि बिंब चलदंबरं भजत रासकेलि रसडंबरम्. पाणिसङ्क्वणितकङ्कणं च मुहुरं सलम्बितकराम्बुजं श्रोणिबिम्बचलदम्बरं भजत रासकेलिरसडम्बरम्.
पाणिसङ्क्वणितकङ्कणं च मुहुरं सलम्बितकराम्बुजं श्रोणिबिम्बचलदम्बरं भजत रासकेलिरसडम्बरम्. पाणिसङ्क्वणितकङ्कणं च मुहुरं सलम्बितकराम्बुजं श्रोणिबिम्बचलदम्बरं भजत रासकेलिरसडम्बरम्.
पाणिसङ्क्वणितकङ्कणं च मुहुरं सलम्बितकराम्बुजं श्रोणिबिम्बचलदम्बरं भजत रासकेलिरसडम्बरम्. पाणिसङ्क्वणितकङ्कणं च मुहुरं सलम्बितकराम्बुजं श्रोणिबिम्बचलदम्बरं भजत रासकेलिरसडम्बरम्.
श्रद्धया विरचितानुगानकृततारतारमधुरस्वरे नर्तने तललिताङ्गहार लुलिताङ्गहार मणिभूषणे सम्मदेन कृतपुष्पवर्षमलमुन्मिषद्दिविशदाङ्कुलं चिन्मये त्वयि निलीयमानमिव सम्मुमोहसवधूकुलम्. So some books have spardaya in the first word, some books are shraddaya. So if we have spardaya, change it to shraddaya. Okay, so that's the right one. Shraddaya virachi tanu gana krita tara tara madhura sware, comma nartaneta lalitanga hara lulitanga hara mani bhushane. श्रद्धया विरचितानुगानकृततारतारमधुरस्वरे नर्तने तललिताङ्गहार लुलिताङ्गहार मणिभूषणे
श्रद्धया विरचितानुगानकृततारतार मधुरस्वरे नर्तने ललिताङ्गहार लुलिताङ्गहार मणिभूषणे श्रद्धया विरचितानुगानकृततारतार मधुरस्वरे नर्तने ललिताङ्गहार लुलिताङ्गहार मणिभूषणे
श्रद्धया विरचितानुगानकृततारतारमधुरस्वरे नर्तने तललिताङ्गहार लुलिताङ्गहार मणिभूषणे श्रद्धया विरचितानुगानकृततारतारमधुरस्वरे नर्तने तललिताङ्गहार लुलिताङ्गहार मणिभूषणे
सम्मदेन कृत पुष्प varsham alam. If you want pushpa varsham alam unmishaddi, or you can say it together, but if you want to break it, pushpa varsham alam unmishaddi, double the shaddi vishadam kulam, comma chinmaye tvai niliyamanam iva sammumoha sa vadhu kulam. सम्मदेन कृत पुष्पवर्षमलमुन्मिषद्धि विशदां कुलं चिन्मये त्वयि निलीयमानमिव सम्मुमोह सवधूकुलम्
सम्मदेन कृत पुष्पवर्षमलमुन्मिषद्धि विशदां कुलं चिन्मये त्वयि निलीयमानमिव सम्मुमोह सवधूकुलम् सम्मदेन कृत पुष्पवर्षमलमुन्मिषद्धि विशदां कुलं चिन्मये त्वयि निलीयमानमिव सम्मुमोह सवधूकुलम्
सम्मदेन कृत पुष्पवर्षमलमुन्मिषद्धि विशदां कुलं चिन्मये त्वयि निलीयमानमिव सम्मुमोह सवधूकुलम् सम्मदेन कृत पुष्पवर्षमलमुन्मिषद्धि विशदां कुलं चिन्मये त्वयि निलीयमानमिव सम्मुमोह सवधूकुलम्. ராஜேஷ், அந்த முன்வி அது ஷத்தி கரெக்டா? ரெண்டு தான், டபுள்
ஆமா,
தான்.
ஷத்தி.
ஓகே.
Stanza 6. स्विन्न सन्नतनु वल्लरी तदनु कापि नाम पशुपाङ्गना कान्तमं समवलम्बते स्म तव तान्ति भारमुकुलेक्षणा काचिदाचलितकुन्तला नवपटीरसारघन सौरभं वञ्चनेन तव सञ्चुचुम्बभुजमञ्चितोरुपुलकाङ्कुरा स्विन्न डबल न सन्न डबल न तनु वल्लरी तदनु कापि नाम पशुपांगना, comma next word कांतम अंसम अवलंबते. That those are the three words. You can either say it together or break it depending on what you find easy. कांतम अंसम अवलंबते स्म तव तान्ति भार मुकुलेक्षणा स्विन्न सन्नतनु वल्लरी तदनु कापि नाम पशुपाङ्गना कान्तमं समवलम्बते स्म तव तान्ति भारमुकुलेक्षणा
स्विन्न सन्नतनु वल्लरी तदनु कापि नाम पशुपाङ्गना कान्तमं समवलम्बते स्म तव तान्ति भारमुकुलेक्षणा स्विन्न सन्नतनु वल्लरी तदनु कापि नाम पशुपाङ्गना कान्तमं समवलम्बते स्म तव तान्ति भारमुकुलेक्षणा
स्विन्न सन्नतनु वल्लरी तदनु कापि नाम पशुपाङ्गना कान्तमंसमवलम्बते स्म तव तान्तिभारमुकुलेक्षणा स्विन्नसन्नतनुवल्लरी तदनु कापि नाम पशुपाङ्गना कान्तमंसमवलम्बते स्म तव तान्तिभारमुकुलेक्षणा
काचिदा चलित कुन्तला नव पटीर सार घन सौरभं वञ्चनेन तव संचुचुम्ब in sound संचुचुम्ब भुजम अंचितोर if you want to break it भुजम अंचितोर or भुजम अंचितोर together पुलकांकुरा काचिधा चलित कुन्तला नवपटीरसार घन सौरभं वञ्चनेन तव संचुचुम्ब भुजमञ्चितोरुपुलकाङ्कुरा.
ராஜேஷ் அந்த கன என்னோட புக்ல கன வஸ் சௌரபம்னு இருக்கு அந்த வ இருக்க கூடாது
அல்ல வ இல்ல just घन सौरभம் that's it.
ஓகே
काचिदाचलित कुन्तला नवपटीरसार घन सौरभं वञ्चनेन तव संचुचुम्ब भुजमञ्चितोरुपुलकाङ्कुरा काचिदाचलित कुन्तला नवपटीरसार घन सौरभं वञ्चनेन तव संचुचुम्ब भुजमञ्चितोरुपुलकाङ्कुरा
काचिदाचलित कुन्तला नवपटीरसार घन सौरभं वञ्चनेन तव संचुचुम्ब भुजमञ्चितोरुपुलकाङ्कुरा काचिदाचलित कुन्तला नवपटीरसार घन सौरभं वञ्चनेन तव संचुचुम्ब भुजमञ्चितोरुपुलकाङ्कुरा.
7 कापि गण्डभुवि सन्निधाय निजगण्डमाकुलितकुण्डलं पुण्यपूरनिधिरन्ववाप तव पूगचर्वितरसामृतम् इन्दिराभिहृतिमन्दिरं भुवनसुन्दरं हि नटनान्तरे त्वामवाप्य ददुरङ्गनाः किमु न सम्मदोन्मददशान्तरम् कापि गण्डभुवि सन्निधाय निज गण्डम आकुलित if you want to break it गण्डम आकुलित कुण्डलं पुण्य पूर निधिरन्ववाप तव पूग चर्वित रसामृतम् कापि गण्डभुवि सन्निधाय निज गण्डमाकुलित कुण्डलम् पुण्यपूरनिधिरन्ववाप तव पूगचर्वितरसामृतम्
कापि गण्डभुवि सन्निधाय निज गण्डमाकुलितकुण्डलं पुण्यपूरनिधिरन्ववाप तव पूगचर्वितरसामृतम् कापि गण्डभुवि सन्निधाय निज गण्डमाकुलितकुण्डलं पुण्यपूरनिधिरन्ववाप तव पूगचर्वितरसामृतम्
कापि गण्डभुवि सन्निधाय निज गण्डमाकुलितकुण्डलं पुण्यपूरनिधिरन्ववाप तव पूगचर्वितरसामृतम् कापि गण्डभुवि सन्निधाय निज गण्डमाकुलितकुण्डलं पुण्यपूरनिधिरन्ववाप तव पूगचर्वितरसामृतम्
इंदिरा विहृति मंदिरं भुवन सुंदरं हि नटनान्तरे त्वामवाप्य धदुरंगनाः is there put a ich sound धदुरंगनाः किमु न सम्मदोन्मद दशान्तरम् इंदिरा विहृति मंदिरं भुवन सुंदरं हि नटनान्तरे त्वामवाप्य धदुरंगनाः किमु न सम्मदोन्मददशान्तरम्
इंदिरा विहृति मंदिरं भुवन सुंदरं हि नटनान्तरे त्वामवाप्य दधुरंगनाः किमु न सम्मदोन्मददशान्तरम् इंदिरा विहृति मंदिरं भुवन सुंदरं हि नटनान्तरे त्वामवाप्य दधुरंगनाः किमु न सम्मदोन्मददशान्तरम्
इंदिरा बृहति मंदिरं भुवन सुंदरं हि नटनान्तरे त्वामवाप्य दधुरंगना किमु न सम्मदोन्मददशान्तरम्.
Lata, on the third line, Vihrati.
Okay, sorry. इंदिरा बृहति मंदिरं भुवन सुंदरं हि नटनान्तरे त्वामवाप्य दधुरंगना किमु न सम्मदोन्मददशान्तरम्.
I think this should be the easiest chapter you all have learned so far, as long as you get the tune, right? The tune may be a little difficult for people, you know, if you don't have the right music, it's something. But otherwise, the words are very straightforward. It's easily separatable. So it's a much easier chapter, actually. Stanza 8. गानमीशविरतं क्रमेण किल वाद्यमेलनमुपारतं ब्रह्मसम्मदरसाकुला सदसि केवलं न ऋतुरङ्गनाः नाविदन्नपि च नीविकां किमपि कुन्तलीमपि च कञ्चुलीं ज्योतिषामपि कदम्बकं दिवि विलम्बितं किमपरं भ्रुवे. So गानमीश विरतं क्रमेण किल वाद्य मेलनम उपारतम. If you want to break it, मेलनम उपारतम, comma, ब्रह्म सम्मद रसाकुलाः. Is there put is रसाकुलास सदसि केवलम न नृतु रंगनाः. न नृतु रंगनाः. गानमीशविरतं क्रमेण किल वाद्यमेलनमुपारतं ब्रह्मसम्मदरसाकुला सदसि केवलं न ऋतुरङ्गनाः.
गानमीशविरतं क्रमेण किल वाद्यमेलनम् उपारतं ब्रह्मसम्मदरसाकुला सदसि केवलं न नृतुरङ्गनाः. गानमीशविरतं क्रमेण किल वाद्यमेलनमुपारतं ब्रह्मसम्मदरसाकुला सदसि केवलं न नृतुरङ्गनाः.
गानमीशविरतं क्रमेण किल वाद्यमेलनमुपारतं ब्रह्मसम्मदरसाकुला सदसि केवलं नृतुरङ्गनाः.
And the last, sorry Lata, and the last word, na nrituranganaha.
न नृतुरङ्गनाः.
Yeah.
गानमीशविरतं क्रमेण किल वाद्यमेलनमुपारतं ब्रह्मसम्मदरसाकुला सदसि केवलं न नृतुरङ्गनाः.
नाविदन्नपि च नीविकां किमपि कुन्तलीम् अपि च कञ्चुलीं, comma, ज्योतिषामपि कदम्बकं दिवि विलम्बितं किमपरं भ्रुवे. नाविदन्नपि च नीविकां किमपि कुन्तलीमपि च कञ्चुलीं ज्योतिषामपि कदम्बकं दिवि विलम्बितं किमपरं भ्रुवे.
नाविदन्नपि च नीविकां किमपि कुन्तलीमपि च कञ्चुलीं ज्योतिषामपि कदम्बकं दिवि विलम्बितं किमपरं ब्रुवे. नाविदन्नपि च नीविकां किमपि कुन्तलीमपि च कञ्चुलीं ज्योतिषामपि कदम्बकं दिवि विलम्बितं किमपरं ब्रुवे.
नाविदन्नपि च नीविकां किमपि कुन्तलीमपि च कञ्चुलीं ज्योतिषामपि कदम्बकं दिवि विलम्बितं किमपरं ब्रुवे. नाविदन्नपि च नीविकां किमपि कुन्तलीमपि च कञ्चुलीं ज्योतिषामपि कदम्बकं दिवि विलम्बितं किमपरं ब्रुवे.
Stanza 9. मोदसीं निभुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलिसंमृदितनिर्मलाङ्गनवघर्मलेश सुभगात्मनां मन्मता सहनचेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुकृतचोदितः तावदाकलितमूर्तिराधदितमारवीर परमोत्सवान्. मोदसीम्नि भुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलि संमृदित निर्मलांग नव घर्म लेश सुभगात्मनाम्. मोदसीम्नि भुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलि संमृदित निर्मलांग नव घर्मलेश सुभगात्मनाम्.
मोदसीम्नि भुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलि संमृदित निर्मलाङ्गनवघर्मलेश सुभगात्मनाम्. मोदसीम्नि भुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलि संमृदित निर्मलाङ्गनवघर्मलेश सुभगात्मनाम्.
मोदसीम्नि भुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलि संमृदित निर्मलाङ्गनवघर्मलेश सुभगात्मनाम्. मोदसीम्नि भुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलि संमृदित निर्मलाङ्गनवघर्मलेश सुभगात्मनाम्.
And the first line, vilap vihritim, right? The T is a short T, okay? So vilapya vihritim, that's it, okay? Manmatha sahana chetasam pashupa yoshitam sukrita choditaha. So put a visarga and comma there, choditaha. Next line is goes away, first beginning. Tavada kalita Murtiradhadita, Murtir Adhadita, but you can say it together, Murtiradhadita Maravira Paramotsavan. Manmata Sahana Chetasam Pashupayoshitam Sukrita Choditaha Tavada Kalita Murtiradhadita Maravira Paramotsavan.
मन्मथा सहन चेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुकृतचोदितः तावदा कलितमूर्तिराधदितमारवीर परमोत्सवान्. मन्मथा सहन चेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुकृतचोदितः तावदा कलितमूर्तिराधदितमारवीर परमोत्सवान्.
मन्वता सहन चेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुकृतचोदितः तावदा कलितमूर्तिराददितमारवीर परमोत्सवान्. मन्मता सहन चेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुकृतचोदितः तावदा कलितमूर्तिराददितमारवीर परमोत्सवान्.
केलिभेद परिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननुसूरजापयसि चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यधाः काननेऽपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनि शतविमोहनम्. केलिभेद Pari Lolitabhirati, then Lalitabhira Bhalalibihi. First is Lolitabhirati, then Lalitabhira Balalibihi, comma Swairam Isha Nanu Suraja Payasi Charu Nama Bihritim Vyadhaha. केलिभेद परिलोलिताभिरति लालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननु सूरजापयसि चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यधाः
केलिभेद परिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननु सुरजापयसि चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यधाः.
That's the second line, Suraja, that long U, okay?
Okay. केलिभेद परिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननु सूरजापयसि चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यधाः.
केलिभेद परिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननुसूरजापयसि चारुनां विहृतिं व्यधा
चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यधाः
चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यधा.
You're saying vihrtim, you're saying vihrtim vyadha.
Okay, that's a short thing. Vihrtim vyadha. Okay. केलिभेद परिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननुसूरजापयसि चारुनां विहृतिं व्यधाः.
काननेपि च विसारि शीतल किशोर मारुत मनोहरे सून सौर भमये विलेसित विलासिनी long e विलासिनी शत विमोहनम् काननेपि च विसारि शीतल किशोर मारुत मनोहरे सून सौरभमये विलेसित विलासिनी शत विमोहनम्
काननेनपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनी शतविमोहनम् काननेपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसित विलासिनी शतविमोहनम्
काननेपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनी शतविमोहनम् काननेपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनी शतविमोहनम्.
11 कामिनीरितिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्यमनुभावयन् ब्रह्मशङ्करमुखानपीह पशुपाङ्गनासु बहुमानयन् भक्तलोकगमनीयरूपकमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् कामिनीरिति हि यामिनीषु short u खलु कामनीय कनिधे भवान् पूर्ण सम्मद रसार्णवं कमपि योगी गम्यम अनुभावयन्, but you can say it together, गम्यम अनुभावयन् कामिनीरितिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्यमनुभावयन्
कामिनीरितिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्यमनुभावयन् कामिनीरितिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्यमनुभावयन्
कामिनीरितिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्यमनुभावयन् कामिनीरितिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीय कनिदे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्यमनुभावयन्
ब्रह्म शंकर मुखानपीह पशुपाङ्गनासु बहुमानयन् भक्त लोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय first is a गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहिमा. So that last line I'm going to say it 3 times, right? Slightly different tune. So when you guys are saying, just say the last thing 3 times, but you don't have to do it twice. So just the third line you say it once and the last line you say it 3 times, right? For Sundari and Lata. ब्रह्म शंकर मुकानपीह पशुपांगनासु बहुमानयन् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम्.
ब्रह्म शंकर मुखानपीह पशुपांगनासु बहुमानयन् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम्.
ब्रह्मशंकर मुकानपीह पशुपांगनासु बहुमानयन् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम्.
And the second, when you're saying the second time, right? Bhaktaloka gaman, and it's slightly that,
Okay.
and the front of.
Okay. भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम्.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. That was a quick chapter. So we just have 2 more chapters left. So 98 and 100 now. So we'll jump into 98 today. We'll see how much we are able to complete. So this will cover with meaning. So for those of you who learned Devi Mahatmyam, right? There is a Namaskara slokam which comes in the 5th chapter, right? The Namastasye Namo Namaha. So there you do Namaskaram every time you say that. So similarly, it's also there in Rudram also there is one chapter like that. But anyway, for Narayaneeyam, think of it as a Namaskaram chapter, right? So there are like, I think 10 stanzas only in this, 10 or 11. I'll just check. I think it got 11. Anyway, so 11. So it's 11 Namaskarams, right? So think of it that way, because every stanza will end with Krishna Tasmai Namaste or something like that. It says salutations to you, O Krishna. That's how each of the thing will end with, right? So that's what it is. So the title of the chapter is Nishkala Brahmopasana. So Upasana is like meditation. So you're meditating, right? You're meditating on the Nirguna form of the Lord. So not the sattvic form of the Lord which you see like as Krishna, but you're meditating on the Nirguna Brahman form which we saw in the first chapter, right? And some of it is going to be continuation only from the first chapter, but anyway, you're meditating on that form of the Lord. Okay, stanza 1. Yasmin etat vibhatam yata idam abhavat येन चेदं ययेतत् योऽस्मादुत्तीर्ण रूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा यो वाचां दूरदूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते. So this first stanza is very similar to that first stanza which we saw in the first chapter, right? So he's saying the Brahman which we talk about, this Brahman on which the universe itself is there. The core essence of the universe is that one Brahman from which everything comes. So it is from that Brahman the universe is formed. It is into that Brahman the universe also merges. then the Brahman is also the universe. So like I think, like we'll cover later on when we cover how the world is creation happens and all, that there are 14 worlds. And then the first avataram of the Lord is what is called as a Virat Swarupam of the Lord, where the Lord himself is the 14 worlds. Right, so that is the Virat Swarupam of the Lord. So he says, you are the 14 worlds, but you are not just the 14 worlds. You are also beyond the 14 worlds. You are also beyond that world as well. And you are the one who pretty much illuminates everything that is actually happening in the universe. Now, all of these, like that, just like exactly the first stanza, Sandrananda Bodhatmakam Anupamitam, it says, all of this, your Brahman form is beyond description. It's inconceivable to the mind of anybody. No matter how many times the sages or the demigods or everybody try to comprehend what this Brahman is, they are not able to comprehend, right? So he says, when they cannot do it, then how about common people like us, right? He says, for us, it is definitely not comprehensible. So, but however, for us, that form of you as Krishna, I'm meditating on that. Krishna, Tasmai Namaste. To that form of you as Krishna, I'm doing Namaskarams. Yasmin etat vibhatam yatha idham abhavat. So the dya that you have there, we're going to break it. First to put a it. Idham abhavat, comma. Next word starts with a ya. Yena chedam ya yetat. Same logic. Put a it at the end, comma. Next line, the dhya becomes a ya. So yosmad uttirna rupaha, comma. Khalu sakalamidam bhasitam yasya bhasa. Yasmin etat vibhatam yata idam abhavat yena chedam yayetat yosmad uttirna rupaha khalu sakalamidam bhasitam yasya bhasa.
यस्मिन्नेतत् विभातं यत इदम् अभवत् येन चेदं य एतद् योऽस्माद् उत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा यस्मिन्नेतद् विभातं यत इदम् अभवत् येन चेदं य एतद् योऽस्माद् उत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा.
Yasmin.
So Ushagaru, you'll come in from the next, after this stanza we'll switch.
Okay. Yasmin etat vibhatam yata idam sorry. Yasmin etat vibhatam yata idam bhavat yena chedam yayetad yosmad uttirna rupa kalu sakalamidam bhasitam yasya bhasa.
On the second line, uttirna rupaha, and then there's a comma there.
Okay, sorry. Yasmin etat vibhatam yata idam bhavat yena chedam yayetad yosmat uttirna rupah kalu sakalamidam bhasitam yasya bhasa.
Yo vacham dura dure, comma, punarapi manasam yasya deva munindraha, comma, no vidyus tat twarupam. So there are two its there. Tat twarupam kimu punarapare, comma, Krishna tasmai namaste. Yo vacham dura dure punarapi manasam yasya deva munindraha no vidyus tattva rupam kimu punarapare Krishna tasmai namaste.
यो वाचां दूर दूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते. यो वाचां दूर दूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
Yo vacham dura dure punarapi manasam yasya deva munindraha no vidyus tattvarupam kimu punarapare Krishna tasmai namaste. Yo vacham dura dure punarapi manasam yasya deva munindraha नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
That's the third line. Dura dure. Adukapram there's a comma. Okay. The pause is after dura dure. Third line.
Okay. Yo
Okay.
vacham duradu.
Okay. So now we'll switch halfway. So I think Shalini. I mean, sorry. Shanti, you and Usha Garu can be student. Stanza 2. Janmato karma nama sphutamiha गुणदोषादिकं वा न यस्मिन् लोकानामूतये यः स्वयमनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी बिभ्रच्छत्तीररूपोऽपि च बहुतररूपोऽवभाद्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णो नमस्ते. He says, unlike other mortals like us, for you there is no janmam, there is no birth for you. There's never, for this Brahman, there is no birth, there is no death, there is no name or any quality. So for example, like, all the names you see, Krishna or Rama or any name you see, it is just, it's not the actual name, right? It is the incarnation or some name that you decide to take, right? And similarly, there's no birth or no death. The God will decide when to come, like we saw in all the avatars, in Matsya avataram, Kurma avataram. He says, okay, I'm just going to come and I'm going to help you out. So he just takes the avataram. Same like, Narasimha avataram also. So there's no birth, there's no death, any of that stuff. You decide when to come, you decide when to leave, right? And even the qualities, like if you remember the last stanza of the Narasimha avataram also, Bhattripat said, you are never angry. As a Brahman, you can never be angry. You just put up a show so that Hiranyakashipu gets scared, right? So you do not have any defined qualities like all of us have, like he's a good person, he's a bad person, he's always angry, or he's always nice. You don't have any such qualities. You don't have a name, you don't have a birth, you don't have that. None of that is there for you. However, for the benefit of the world, right? So Lokanam, for the benefit of the world, you do come. And you do give yourself a name. You give yourself a name like Rama. You give yourself a name like Krishna. And then you do certain activities, which we are going to see a lot of that in Krishna Avataram. So you do all of those things only for the benefit of the world, right? And then similarly, you also do not have any form. The true Brahman has absolutely no form. That's what again the first stanza also said. You don't have any form. However, you take different forms. And all of the people, because of the lack of knowledge that we have, we now interpret that this is a separate God or a separate entity. He says, at the end of the day, it's all only one Brahman. That Brahman takes different forms for us, right? If you like Krishna, you can think Krishna is blue. Krishna is in blue, but in a lot of pictures, people now make Krishna white in color also, right? So it's because that's how they want to see it. So some people make Krishna black in color because that's how they want to see it. But Krishna, when he took birth or when he came, he was one particular color. But then you have no restrictions. You can put any color you want on. It doesn't matter at all, right? It's up to how you want to look at it. So he says you don't have any form, and it's only because of people's ignorance or lack of knowledge that they give you different forms. So that you who is supreme bliss, infinite bliss, paripurnaya, pararasa paripurnaya, to that you, Vishnu, namaste, my salutations to you. So janmato karma nama sphutamiha, comma, guna doshadikam va na yasmin, comma, lokanam utaye yaha, comma, swayam anubhajate tani mayanusadi. जन्मातो कर्म नाम स्फुटमिह गुणदोषादिकं वा न यस्मिन् लोकानामूतये यः स्वयमनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी.
जन्मातो कर्मणाभस्फुटमिह गुणदोषादिकं वा न यस्मिन् लोकानामुदये यः स्वयं अनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी. जन्मातो कर्म नाम स्फुटमिह गुणदोषादिकं वा न यस्मिन् लोकानामुदये यः स्वयं अनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी.
जन्माधो कर्म नाम स्फुटमिह गणदोषादिकं वा न यस्मिन् लोकानामूतये यः स्वयमनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी जन्माधो कर्मनामस्फुटमिह गणदोषादिकं
Usha
वा न
garu,
यस्मिन्
guna doshadikam. There. Guna.
गुणदोषादिकं वा न यस्मिन् लोकानामूतये यः स्वयमनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी
Bhibrach chatira rupo. So the ich sound. Bhibrach chatira rupopi cha, comma. Bahutara rupova bhatyat bhutatma. So this word also you cannot quite break it because bahutara rupo avabhatyat adbhutatma, multiple words there. So you have to kind of say the whole thing together. Bahutara rupova bhatyat bhutatma, comma. Tasmai kaivalya dhamne, comma. Para rasa paripurnaya Vishnu namaste. बिभ्रच्छत्तीर रूपोऽपि च बहुतर रूपो वभात्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररस परिपूर्णाय विष्णो नमस्ते
बिभ्रच्छक्तिररूपोऽपि च बहुधररूपो वभात्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णो नमस्ते बिभ्रच्छक्तिररूपोऽपि च बहुधररूपो वभात्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररस परिपूर्णाय विष्णो नमस्ते
बिभ्रच्छक्तिररूपोऽपि च बहुतररूपो वबाध्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने परिरसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णो नमस्ते.
Shukar, that's the last line. Pararasa. You said pari there. Para. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. बिभ्रच्छक्तिररूपोऽपि च बहुतररूपो
So remember the word adbhutam. Adbhutam, right? So that's what it is. Bhadyadbhutatma. That's the word which is embedded there. Yeah.
बाध्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णु नमस्ते.
Stanza 3. No tiryanchannamartyam na cha suramasuram na striyam no pumhamsam na dravyam karma jatim gunamapi sadasat vapite rupamahuhu shishtam yatsya nishedhe sati निगमशतैर् लक्षणा वृत्तितस्तत् कृच्छ्रेणा वेद्यमानं परमसुखमयं भाति तस्मै नमस्ते. So I don't know how many of you remember, but at least when you were studying math, right? I think it was geometry. So when you have to prove something, right, in a theorem, you first make an opposite assumption, and then you say that assumption is false, right? And then say because now it's false, my original assumption is wrong, and therefore it is a different answer. I don't know what it is called, but that was the logic in geometry, right? So he's saying the same thing. How do you now define this, right? So he says, first thing, there are certain characteristics, right? When say who is God, or what is God, right? So you cannot define what it is, but you can define it by telling what it is not, right? So the first thing it says is we are all bound by karma. There's no doubt. The moment you take birth, that means you are bound by karma. You have some sanchita karma which is left, because of which you have taken birth, and now you're building new karma, good karma, bad karma, all of that stuff. So because of which you are bound by it, right? So the person who is driving that creation cannot be bound by that, because then they're part of it. They are also bound by karma now. So one is we are all bound by karma, which means the Supreme Brahman cannot be bound by karma, right? That is number one. Two, knowledge, right? So jnanatvam it says, which is a lot of you didn't know Narayaneeyam till today, or this chapter till today, right? But you didn't know it before. Now you know it, and tomorrow you will know because you learned. So your knowledge is defined at a point in time, right? So the Brahman cannot have a knowledge as a point in time. It has to be always there. So it is not that. That is a Jnanatvam, second one. Anantatvam, that is the third. So I am sitting here in Chicago right now at 8:30. I am not anywhere. I'm not in St. Louis or Dallas where like Vijaya and others are, right? So my location is also defined as a point in time and space. It is defined, right? So the Lord is Anantatvam. He is not bound by space and time. So that is a number 3. Next, Anandatvam. So it is a happiness. That is we all know that. We all get happy when we get what we want. And the moment whatever we get, we lose, we become unhappy. So our happiness is also bound by certain thing, right? And the bliss, which is the Supreme Brahman, cannot be bound by that, right? He cannot be bound by certain things which are giving happiness. It's always blissful. That's why everywhere he says you are condensed bliss, you are condensed bliss. That's why the word keeps coming everywhere, right? And the fourth or fifth one is Amalatvam, which is Malam means dirt. And dirt here doesn't mean physical dirt. Dirt also could mean mental dirt, right? So we all have different mental dirts that we are carrying. So the Brahman cannot have that, right? So that's how you define. You say anyone who's not any of this is a Brahman. So similarly, he says your form also, right? You are na tiryanchanna martyam. You don't have the form of a bird or an animal or a human being. That's not your form. Because then if I say your form is a human being, then the birds will say, then what am I? Isn't the Paramatma in me also, right? So then if we say that God is like a bird, then we'll all say, well, then what am I then? How come God is not like me, right? So you don't have any form. That's number 1. 2 is you cannot be a God, you cannot be a demon. Because if you say the God is only the Devas, then who made the Asuras? That's also made by the Brahman only, right? So you are neither the God nor the Asura. Is the God a male or a female? He's neither male nor female because he made both, right? So when you keep on defining all of these things, right? So when you start defining these things and you say, you cannot be any of this, but I cannot define you. All I can say is you are not any of these things, right? So once you remove all of these things, whatever is left, which is always in supreme bliss state, that is you. That is the only way to define it, very simply said, because how else will you define it, right? So that's what he's saying here. You are none of these things. You are not you are not anything which is existing. You are not anything. I can't say you are non-existing also. So you are neither that. So it's you kind of go through the sense of negation, and he says whatever is left, that is you. So no tiryanchan na martyam, comma, na cha suram asuram, comma, na striyam no pumamsam, comma again. So that line has 3 commas. After martyam, after suram asuram, then at the end, na dravyam karma jatim, comma, gunamapi sadasat vapi te rupamahuhu. No tiryanchanna martyam, na cha suram asuram, na striyam no pumamsam, na dravyam karma jatim, gunamapi sadasat vapi te rupamahuhu.
No diryanjam na martyam na cha suram na striyam no pumamsam natravyam karma jatim gunamapi sadasattvabhite rupamahuhu.
Shanti, and the second line after karma jatim, there is a comma, okay?
Okay. No diryanjam na madhyam na sasuram na striyam no pumamsam na dravyam karma jatim gunamabi sadasattvabhite rupamahuhu.
No tiryanchana martyam na cha suram na striyo na pumamsam na dravyam karma jatim gunamapi sadasadvapi te rupamahuhu. No tiryanchana martyam na cha suram na striyam na striyo no pumamsam.
No, nastriyam no pumamsam. See, na and no means no in Sanskrit. No. That's what it is. Nastriyam No
Na-
pumamsam. Yeah.
न स्त्रियं नो पुमांसं न द्रव्यं कर्म जातिं गुणमपि सदसद्वापि ते रूपमाहुः
Shishtam yat syan nishedhe sati. So in and the ni. Syan nishedhe sati, comma. Nigama shatair lakshana vrittitas tat. Vrittitas tat, comma. Krichrena vedhyamanam. So chra. And then a on it. Krichrena vedhyamanam, comma. Parama sukhamayam bhati tasmai namaste. शिष्टं ह्यस्यान्निषेधे सति निगमशतैर्लक्षणावृत्तितस्तत् कृच्छ्रेण वेद्यमानं परमसुखमयं भाति तस्मै नमस्ते.
शिष्टं यत् स्यान्दि निशते सदि निगमः सदैर्लक्षणावृत्तितस्तत् कृच्छ्रेण वेद्यमानं परमसुगमयं भाति तस्मै नमस्ते.
And sorry, Shanti, the first third line, right? Shan nishedhe, in and then nishedhe.
स्यान् निषेधे. Okay.
Correct.
शिष्टं यत् स्यान् निषेधे सदि निगमः सदैर्लक्षणावृत्तितस्तत् कृच्छ्रेण वेद्यमानं परमसुगमयं भाति तस्मै नमस्ते.
शिष्टं यत्सान्निषेधे सति निगमशतैर्लक्षणावृत्तितस्तत् कृच्छ्रेणावेद्यमानं परमसुखमयं भाति तस्मै नमस्ते. शिष्टं यत्सान्निषेधे सति निगमशतैर्लक्षणावृत्तितसत् कृच्छ्रेणावेद्यमानं परमसुखमयं भाति तस्मै नमस्ते.
Shukra, the third line, Brit titas tat.
Can you repeat, sir?
Yeah, it's three words there. Okay. Brit titas
Oh,
tat.
yeah. Vritti tastat.
Correct. 3 words there. Okay. Stanza 4. Mayayam bimbitastvam srijadi mahadahankara tanmatra bhedaihi bhuta gramendriyadhyairapi sakala jagat swapna sankalpa kalpam bhuya samhritya sarvam khamata iva padhan yatmana khala shaktya gambhire jayamane tamasi vitimiro bhasi tasmai namaste. So this, we saw in the little bit, it goes to that theoretical Sankhya Yogam, right? It talked about the Prakriti and how everything came out of that. We kind of saw that in Kapilopakyanam, right? So it kind of is going and saying that. So essentially what the thing is, when the pralayam, and we'll see some of this in detail later also, but when the pralayam happens, right, everything dissolves, everything goes away, right? Now where does everything go? Now does it all completely get eliminated and everything gets started fresh, or does it all go somewhere, right? So if the explanation they give is it cannot completely go away, and something cannot come out of nothing. So it says, the example, the very loose comparison that is given is a seed. Okay, you have a tree, you break the tree, an apple tree, you chop the tree off, you throw all the apples out, you chop the tree and you discard the tree, but then you still have a seed. The seed is left. Now over a period of time, water comes, sunlight comes, and now a tree comes out of that seed, right? So is the original apple tree there? No, the original apple tree is gone, but now a new apple tree has come. How? It has come from that seed, right? Now when somebody looks at the seed, will you say this is an apple tree? They will say it's not an apple tree, but the apple tree is there inside the seed, very loosely said, right? So he says that's how it is. He says when everything disappears and the pralayam happens, everything is there in a sukshmam form in you, and from that everything then comes out, right? And when that comes out, and we'll see how it comes out much later, it talks about how step by step how everything gets created. But anyway, here is very simply saying everything at the end of the day goes into you, and everything comes out, just like how when a tortoise is, that's a kamata iva padan, is giving an example. When a tortoise has 4 feet, when it is afraid, it pulls all the 4 feet and its head into the shell, right? But then when it wants, it can bring it out. So similarly, all this mahat, ahankaram, the tanmatram, and all these things, and all the jivas, everything goes into you, is hiding in you in a sukshma form. And when the time is right, all of these now start reflecting as different beings and everything else. So mayayam bimbitas tvam, comma, srijasi mahada hankara, mahat ahankara. So mahada hankara tanmatra bhedaihi. So put a visarga and comma. Next line on the bhuta, there is a ir that goes away. Bhuta gramendriyadhyair api. So one word. Bhuta gramendriyadhyair api, comma. Sakala jagat swapna sankalpa kalpam. So as if it's somebody is dreaming. So when you dream, you don't know what is true, what is not real, right? So similarly, all of these, just like how in a dream it is projected as real, all of these things get projected out of you as if it is like a dream, because none of this, they say, it doesn't even exist, so which is difficult for us to comprehend. So anyway, so mayayam bimbitastam srijadi mahadahankara tanmatra bhedaihi bhuta gramendriyadhyairapi sakala jagat swapna sankalpa kalpam.
मायायां बिम्बितस्त्वं सृजसि महदहङ्गारतन्मात्रभेदैः भूतग्रामेन्द्रियाद्यैरभि सकलजगत्स्वप्नसङ्कल्पकल्पम् मायायां बिम्बितस्त्वं सृजसि महदहङ्गारधन्मात्रभेदैः भूतग्रामेन्द्रियाद्यैरभि सकलजगत्स्वप्नसङ्कल्पकल्पम्
मायायां बिम्बितस्त्वं सृजसि महदहङ्कारतन्मात्रभेदैः भूतग्रामेन्द्रियैर्यैरपि सकलजगत्स्वप्नसङ्कल्पकल्पम् मायायां बिम्बितस्त्वं सृजसि महदहङ्कारतन्मात्रभेदैः भूतग्रामेन्द्रियैर्यैरपि Sakala Jaga Swapna Sankalpakalpam.
The second line, first word, right? Bhuta gramendriyadhyairapi. Dhyairapi.
Oh, Dhyairapi.
Yeah.
Okay. Bhuta Gramendriyadhyairapi.
Correct.
Thanks, sir.
Answer line 3. Bhuyaha, put a is, bhuyas samhritya sarvam, comma, kamatha iva padanyatmana kala shaktya, comma, gambhire jayamane tamasi vitimiro, comma, bhasi tasmai namaste. So he says when this, when everything goes away, when there's complete darkness, right? So in the sun, there's tamas, there's complete darkness there, then only you are shining. To that you, my salutations, right? When you are the only one left at that point, nothing else is there. Bhuyas samhritya sarvam kamatha iva padanyatmana kala shaktya gambhire jayamane tamasi vitimiro bhasi tasmai namaste.
भूयः संहृत्य सर्वं कमट इव पदान्यात्मना कालशक्त्या गम्भीरे जायमाने तमसि विधिमिरो भासि तस्मै नमस्ते भूयः संहृत्य सर्वं कमट इव पदान्यात्मना कालशक्त्या गम्भीरे जायमाने तमसि विधिमिरो भासि तस्मै नमस्ते
Bhuya samhrutya sarvam kamata eva padanyatmana kala shaktya gambhire jayamane tamasi vitamiro bhasi tasmai namaste.
Shagaru, that fourth line, the first, the comma is after vitimiro, okay? Jayamane tamasi vitimiro, and then comma.
Vitimiro the grip
Yeah, vitimiro.
is a comma, right?
Yeah, after that the comma is there.
Oh, bhasi. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it again. And Gambhire Jayamane Tamasi Vitimiro.
And then the pause.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, Bhasitasmai Namaste.
Bhasitasmai Namaste. Bhuya Samhrutya Sarvam Kamatayava Padanyatmana Kala Shaktya Gambhire Jayamane Tamasi Vitimiro Bhasitasmai Namaste.
Stanza 5. Shabda Brahmedi Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum Sakalamayataya Sarvata Kalpyamanam Vedantairiryattu Geetam Purusha Parachidatmabhidam Tattu Tattvam Preksha Matrena Moola Prakriti Vikriti Krit Krishna Tasmai Namaste. Again, Krishna, salutations to you, who it says you are the, again, like it's the continuation of that, right? You are the only one cause of everything to exist, right? Because from you unveiled, like I said, right, it's all going to come, at least in this kalpa of Brahma, from the Nabhi of the Lord, Brahma came, and from Brahma, everybody else and everything else has come, right? So for this universe, and there are multiple universes anyway. So you are the only one that is the cause of the universe. So you're not only, you are in every single form that is conceivable, right? You see a stone, the Lord is there in that as well, right? In anything which is conceivable or anything which you can see or think of, you are there. And that's why the Vedas also say you are the Shabda Brahmeti, the primeval sound Om, the Omkaram sound, it is you. The smallest of atom that is actually there, it is also you. That in the time, it is also you. Even the time is your. Every action that happens, you are there in everything that is there, right? So he says there's nothing that you are not in, right? So on that, in one which is there in everything is what they're calling as a supreme being or the Purusha, which is there in everything, right? And then you, then just like, the example also is when you have the sunlight and you have the sunlight is shining on your house mirror, house window, it looks in a particular way. When it shines on the water in the beach, it looks different. When it shines on like a spilt oil, it might look different. It all looks different, but at the end of the day, it's the same sunlight which is shining, right? So that's what he says. Everybody that is here is a reflection of the Lord, right? That we saw the Purusha is there and it has all the other attributes. Various combinations of that is getting attached to the Purusha, but in everybody, it is the same one Lord who is actually there in everything, and you are there in everything as well. So to that you, who Bhadrapad says, is Krishna himself, Tasmai Namaste. Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti. That you have to say it together. Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan, Kala Ityalapanthi, Tvamekam Vishwahetum, Sakala Mayataya Sarvata Kalpyamanam. Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum Sakalamayataya Sarvata Kalpyamanam.
Shabda Brahmedi Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalabandi Vameham Vishwahetum Sakalamayadhaya Sarvada Kalpamanam. Kalpyamanam. Shabda Brahmedi Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalabandi Vameham Vishwahetum Sakalamayada Sarvada Kalpyamanam.
Shanti, in the first line, the pause is after Bhagavan, the first line.
Okay.
Bhagavan. And the second line, right? Sakala Mayataya.
Okay.
Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum Sakalamayataya Sarvadha Kalpyamanam. Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum Sakalamayataya Sarvadha Kalpyamanam.
Vedantair Yattu Geetam, Purusha Para chidatmabhidam tattu tattvam. So both of them have two its, right? Tattu tattvam, comma. Preksha matrena moola prakriti vikriti krit, comma. Krishna tasmai namaste. Vedantairyattu geetam purusha parachidatmabhidam tattu tattvam preksha matrena moola prakriti vikriti krit Krishna tasmai namaste. Shanti mute irke.
वेदान्त्यैर्यत्तु गीतं पुरुषपरसितात्माभितं तत्तु तत्त्वं प्रेक्षामात्रेण मूलप्रकृतिविकृति कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते वेदान्दैर्यत्तु गीतं पुरुषपरसितात्मामितं तत्तु तत्त्वं प्रेक्षामात्रेण मूलप्रकृतिविकृतिकृत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते
वेदान्तैर्यत्तु गीतं पुरुषपरिचिदात्मभीदं त्वत्तु
Purusha parachidatmabhidam
पुरुषपरिचिदात्मभिदं
mabhidam, that son mabhidam.
माभिदं
Yeah.
चिदात्माभिदं तत्तु तत्त्वं
Yeah.
प्रेक्षामात्रेण मूलप्रकृतिविकृतिकृत कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते वेदान्तैर्यत्तु गीतं पुरुषपरिचिदात्माभिदं तत्तु तत्त्वं sorry, tune point.
That's okay. That's okay.
वेदान्तैर्यत्तु गीतं पुरुषपरिचिदात्मभिदं त्वत्तु तत्त्वं प्रेक्षामात्रेण मूलप्रकृतिविकृतिकृत कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
We'll do one more stanza and we'll stop today. Satvena sattayava nacha khalu sadasatvena nirvachya rupa dhatte yasava vidya guna phanimativad vishwadrishyavabhasam vidyatvam saiva yata shruti vachana lavaihi yat kripasyandalabhe samsararanya sadyastrutana parashutameti tasmai namaste. She says that avidya, vidya means knowledge, avidya means lack of knowledge, but in Sanskrit one of the ways they use the word avidya is pure ignorance. So they're saying it's not like we don't have knowledge, he says we are all so ignorant. And the example he says is, if I ask you, are you an ignorant person, it's a very difficult question to answer. If I say yes, I am ignorant, means if you know you're ignorant, then you can't be ignorant, right? So you can't say yes, I'm ignorant, nor can you say no, I am not ignorant, because you don't know whether you're ignorant or not. You just can't answer it. He says that is the avidya that you have, is you have an ignorance, but you don't know that you have ignorant and all that, right? And the example he says is, because of that avidya that you have, you are seeing this duality which does not exist, right? And he gives a couple of examples, right? He says you go to sleep. In your sleep, you imagine as if your house is getting burgled. Right? Somebody is coming into your house, breaking the door and entering your house. That's just a dream you're having. It's not actually happening. What do you think is going to happen the next day? The moment you wake up, you're going to be like, oh my God, I had this dream. Now I'm afraid if somebody is going to come to my house because that person came to the front door. I forgot to lock the front door. So he says it's your own soul which is conditioned to think in a particular way, which imagines things, sets expectations, and then sets limits, and then gets unhappy or happy based on the expectation you are imagining. That's what he says. That's how your soul is conditioned. You condition yourself to say, I want to go buy this, I want to make $1 million. Then you set that expectation. It will be good if I can win the lottery tomorrow. Right? You set that expectation, then you don't win the lottery, then you get sad. Because that is all he says. You are one who is setting all of these expectations. It is actually, there's nothing, it says. And the example, and this covered over 2 stanzas, so I don't want to jump to the next one. But he says the example is, when there is no light, when there's avidya, a rope which is lying in your house in a dark room will look like a snake to you. It will look like a snake. right? Because you don't know what it is. It looks like a snake, but you're not sure because there's no light. So that ignorance which is actually there. So he says, however, when Lord Krishna, your blessings come, your blessings, the stream of blessings is as if I'm taking an axe and chopping away a creeper. That is how your blessings is going to chop away that avidya that I actually have. And how will I get your blessings? Is by either by listening to your names or listening to your leelagal or saying it. So either you say Vishnu Sahasranamam or you say Narayaneeyam, which has all the Krishna's activities, or at least you listen to that. Just by listening or by saying that, then the blessings are going to flow as if an axe will come and chop off the creeper, right? That's how the avidya will go away, right? And this continues into the next stanza, so we'll discover it then. Satvena sattayava. So it's satvena asattayava, but it goes together. Satvena sattayava, comma, na cha khalu sadasat tvena. So again, to it, sadasat tvena nirvachya rupa, comma, dhatte yasava vidya, comma, guna phani mati vad vishwa drishyava bhasam. Satvena sattayava nacha khalu sadasattvena nirvachya rupa dhatte yasava vidya guna phani mati vad vishwa drishyava bhasam.
Satvena sattaya va na cha khalu sadasatvena nirvachya rupa tatte yasava vidya guna panimadivat vishvadrisyavapasam. Satvena sattaya va na cha khalu sadasatvena nirvachya rupa tatte yasava vidya guna panimadivat Banimadivat Visvatrishyavapasam.
Right. And the first line namattum comma is after that va. Okay, sattayava.
Satvena statayava nacha khalu sadasattvena nirvachya rupa datte yasava vidya guna phanimati vadvishya drishyavabhasam.
Vishwa drishyavabhasam.
Vadvishva drishyavabhasam. Satvena statayava nacha khalu sadasattvena nirvachya rupa tatte yasava vidya gunapanimati vadvishva drishyavabhasam.
Vidhyatvam saiva yatha shruti vachana labaihi. So put a visarga and a comma. Then on the next word on top of a ya there is a ir, you can remove that. Yat kripa syanda labhe, comma, samsara aranya, the forest of samsara. So samsararanya sadyas trutana para shutam eti tasmai namaste. So no pause in that line. Vidhyatvam saiva yata shruti vachana labhaihi yat kripasyanda labhe samsararanya sadyas trutana para shutam eti tasmai namaste.
Vidyatvam saivayada shruti vachana lavaihi yat kripasyandalabe samsararanya satyas drudana parasudamedi tasmai namaste. Vidyatvam saivayada shruti vachana lavaihi yat kripasyandalabe samsararanya satyastridana parasudamedi tasmai namaste.
Vidyatvam saivayata shruti vachanalavaihi yatkrupasyandalabhe samsararanya sadyastritana. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Sadyustratana parushatameti tasmai namaste. Vidyatvam saivayata shruti vachanalavaihi yatkrupasyandalabhe संसारारण्य सद्युस्त्रटन परुषुतामेति तस्मै नमस्ते.
You almost got it. I think that word samsararanya sadyas trutana.
Trutana.
Correct. Just two different words. Okay. All right. In the class here. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha Sandhanandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam Kaladeshavadebhyam Nirmuktam Nityamuktam Nigamashatasahasrena Nirbhasyamanam Aspashtam Drishtamatre Punarurupurushartatmakam Brahma Tattvam Tattavad Bhati Sakshat Guru Bhavanapure Hanta Bhagyam Jananam कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.